Hello everyone, we are going to be interviewing Adam Courdes. Just hold on while I set that up. Okay, so what's going to be happening is he's going to be on freechess.org's channel 38, and I will be telling the people on YouTube what he's saying. Basically, if you want to, he's actually typing in text. If you want to see what he's typing, you have to go to freechess.org's channel 38, which is literature. Okay. Um, so I've just sent him the YouTube link, and I'm waiting for him to tell me he can hear me. So this is going to be, I guess we'll talk about art and writing and I guess poetry. So hello, Adam. Can you hear me? And I'm just waiting for his response. Okay, so first of all, it's Adam Courdes. Am I saying that correctly? Okay, great. Uh, so Adam, you did you publish anything recently, or was it just the writing that you had completed today? Also, I'm wondering if you've ever put any of your poetry online. Being attacked by my cat. Okay, so Adam is saying that he just completed a short poem today. So Adam, what is the short poem about? People have to excuse the delay between me asking a question and getting the response. Okay. So so Adam has said that the it's about what is the soul. So Adam, okay, so I guess we got to get right into it and talk about religion, or is it about something else? trying to get a sense of the timing of the delay between when I ask the question and when he hears it. So Adam has answered, it's about the spiritual nature of us all. Now, do you have some definite ideas of our spiritual nature, or are you sort of, or is the poem just kind of doing its own thing? Is it like is the poem a kind of independent expression that's not necessarily reflecting your own thoughts, or are you actually trying to say something in that poem? For those of you watching on freechess.org, I'm talking to Paper Noose, and his name is Adam Courdes, and basically he's asking me questions in channel 38. If you want to see what he's asking, he's answering my questions in channel 38 on freechess.org, which is literature and poetry. Okay, Adam, you can give us the first line if you want, but you could also, you could answer any of those questions I threw out there. Okay, so Adam says the poem is independent of religion. Now, I just want to know, if when you say the poem is independent of religion, do you mean it's independent of your own beliefs in religion, or the poem is just simply not about religion? Adam goes on to say, but I enjoy a free flow of thought. Perhaps maybe he's answering my question there. A free flow of thought means it's just as you think things, it goes into the poem, and it's not necessarily an exposition of your beliefs or something like that. Okay, so Adam says it's not about religion. When we say spiritual nature of us all, so I'm going back to the original answer that he gave me, it's about the spiritual nature of us all. Now, it's not about religion. So when you talk about our spirit, how are we spiritual then? In a non-religious way? Am I asking that question correctly? Adam says, I haven't revised it yet. So when you say you haven't revised it, and I'll let you also think about my previous question, I guess it means it's just the raw initial thoughts, like a what do you call it? An unscripted, not unscripted, but like stream of thought, just as you said earlier, and it hasn't gone through like an editing process. So because he's typing his answers to me in text, what's happening is there's a bit of delay between, I guess, when he hears me and when I see the answer typed on the screen. So I suppose I'm in the dangerous situation where I could start getting ahead of myself. Adam says it's the first draft. I'm just waiting for his next response. He says, sometimes I don't have to edit much. So some people who know me know that I'm trying to, develop my skills as a fiction writer. And Adam, of course, is trying to develop his skills as as a poet, and I believe you also write fiction. You have to remind me. Um, so in fiction writing, we talk about discovery writing, which is when you write without any kind of without writing, like writing an outline in advance. And then the other type of fiction writer is an outliner, where they plan and plot, and they use index cards and put them up on bulletin boards and that kind of thing. So I'm guessing, and I don't know if this is if there's a percentage of poets that write this way, but I'm guessing that the poet equivalent to this would be a discovery writer in this case, as opposed to uh, an outliner. Adam says, yes, I do both, but I use a box instead of a board. I see. So you do outlining? Oh, when you say do you do both, do you mean you do both poetry and fiction, or do you mean you do both um, outlining and discovery writing? Also, when you say you use a box, does that mean that you put pieces of paper in a box with notes on it? I see. So he's answered the first question saying he does both discovery writing and outlining. So I was going to say, yes, you should give us the first line of the poem, and that'll also give me something to think about. Give us all something to think about. I keep assuming everything's about me. So in his box, he says he puts maps and pictures and quotes and anything that relates to the story. No, I had a friend who, in an art class, told me that he uses something called an idea box, where he takes notes of paper and different anything that gives him ideas, and you put it in the box, and the whole point is that it becomes a kind of trove of ideas, and by collecting these ideas, you can at any time just basically start working on a project of any kind of creative project. And some people use scrapbooks, some people use sketchbooks. And it actually helps you. It helps avoid the problem of getting blocked, for example. Adam says he calls it a story box. Okay, now here's the first line of the poem. He says, "What is the soul? Little unwinged spirits on snowflakes, the cold and silent spaces in between them." So I'll repeat that first line of his poem again. What is the soul? Little unwinged spirits on snowflakes, the cold and silent spaces in between them. And he's responded to my previous comment. He says, the box is a trove, yes. So for people watching, let me repeat what I said before, which is that I'm talking to Adam Courdes. He's on freechess.org in the Literature and Poetry channel, which is channel 38. That's where he's responding to me, and I'm talking on YouTube, of course, um, and we're going back and forth in that fashion. So I, of course, am very interested in idea boxes. I've actually thought about that whole subject of storing ideas like that for a long time. There's actually software that tries to do something similar. There's one program called Literary Machine. It has both a something like a dictionary where you're creating the dictionary. So you put in a word and then you put in definitions, pictures, that kind of thing. Anything you want, you associate it with the word. But it also has a kind of project management aspect to it where you can start taking these ideas and putting them in more of a hierarchical structure. So that's a literary machine. That software, if you want to try something, a kind of creative software. So let me ask some questions about the poem then. The first line of the poem. I guess, why are the spirits unwinged? We'll start with that. Or is it the soul that's unwinged? What is the soul? Little unwinged spirits. Is the soul many spirits or just one? And is it unwinged? Or why is it unwinged? I'm just waiting for the response. So, I see. The soul is unwinged. It's kind of funny when, so Adam just told me the soul is unwinged. So it's kind of funny when I hear that, it almost sounds like it's unchained or something on, but I don't know if that's what's meant. That's just something that popped into my head. Adam says, I think of the soul as winged after death. So, Adam, when is that, do you think, like an angel? Or is the soul having wings an independent thing of angels? Could we think of a soul as winged because we have a Christian heritage? I guess that's how I'd put the question. Our Christian heritage might make us think of angels if they have wings. He's thinking of his answers. Adam, I just was wondering also, am I asking questions too fast? Are they kind of piling up because of this delay, or am I going at an okay pace? Adam says, no, just a freedom of sorts. So the soul having wings is freedom, of course. So if when it's unwinged, is that a lack of freedom? Adam says to the previous question, I'm sure Christian heritage is a powerful influence in our spirituality. He says my pacing of my questions is well paced. This is a interesting format, text and audio. Let's see. Adam says, a snowflake's freedom. So let me read the line again. What is the soul, little unwinged spirits on snowflakes, the cold and silent spaces in between them? The snowflake would not have wings, he says. So, okay, I'm going to read that line again, just to see if I can, my mind and creative spirit will start to wake up here. It goes, what is the soul? Little unwinged spirits on snowflakes, the cold and silent spaces in between them. Because they're snowflakes, they're cold and silent. I see. He says, the spaces in between are silences. It's kind of funny how, in some ways, so if Adam is a poet and I'm like a fiction writer, it's funny how his mind's and almost tries to express these kinds of things in a more precise way than me. You know, I almost leave sentences more open-ended than how he's putting it, which is kind of funny. When I'm debating, it's different. I want precision, but it sounds more like legal precision, right? Adam, you can comment on anything I'm saying here, but do you think the poet, in a sense, is a kind of the poet and the lawyer have certain things in common in that they're both trying to be precise in their own way, but the lawyer is what I call a closed language game. You know, there could, for example, be only if he's done his job correctly when he makes a statement, there could only be one meaning of that statement. But but a poet might make a statement through use of metaphor could have many layers of meaning and that kind of thing. But he still might be, he still it has a sense of precision and word choice and that kind of thing, and in that sense is analogous to a lawyer. Oh, I heard a bang in the background. I think my cat knocked something over. So Adam says, yes, they do try to be precise, especially in a haiku. Adam, is this particular poem you've written haiku? Adam says, the comparison to law is excellent. Adam says, no, this is a poem of 5 verses. Adam, have you written all 5 verses? So he's now presented us with the second verse. The second verse is as follows. Excuse me. All summer dawns, linking day to day and night to night in radiant wheels of moonlight. Did that rhyme? Yes. I'll read that second line again. All summer dawns, linking day to day and night to night in radiant wheels of moonlight. Adam says, yes, and there is a concluding verse at the end. I just want to be clear I understand that, Adam. There's 5 verses and then a concluding verse, or is the 5th verse the concluding verse? Excuse me. I was out in the negative, it's like negative 18 Celsius up here in Canada, and I was out there loading stuff. I had forgotten my gloves too. It was fun stuff. Adam says, some rhyme. And I guess in response to my comment about rhymes. But moonlight and night do rhyme, don't they? 5 verses and the concluding verse. I see. So that's an additional verse. So Adam, is there anything else you'd like to say about this poem or poetry in general? Some of this stuff is hard to just start talking about. Of course, I'm a blabbermouth. It's easy for me. Adam says, dawn is to contrast with light. Let me and then Adam goes on to say, as the snowflake contrasts to the spaces in between. I'm guessing that a poet, when they come up with structures like analogies, that kind of structure, that I mean, you could get something inspired, but then I mean, it doesn't seem as planned to me. It's almost like a good accident, a favorable accident of some kind. Adam is now saying that's the train of thought in constructing this one. So I'll repeat what he said a moment ago. It goes, dawn is to contrast with night as the snowflake contrasts to the spaces in between. And then he said, that's the train of thought in constructing this one. I'm Well, Adam, we've talked about half an hour. Is there any final thoughts you have on this poem or poetry? Oh, okay. He says, then connecting the 2 verses, you begin to get a picture of my concept of the soul. Okay, so now I definitely can't end it because we're talking about the soul now. Well, the soul was literally mentioned, the first verse, which went like this. What is the soul, little unwinged spirits on snowflakes, the cold and silent spaces in between them? And the second verse was, all summer dawns, linking day to day and night to night in radiant wheels of moonlight. So Adam says he appreciates me giving a chance to express his thoughts. Giving him a chance to express his thoughts. Well, you're welcome, Adam. I appreciate you helping me learn. I'm trying to learn how to do the controls and whatnot on YouTube Hangouts, and I appreciate you helping me learn to do that. So thank you very much for this interview, Adam, and we'll talk again in the future. Okay. And everyone who watched us and who will watch this video in the future, thank you for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.